All right, everybody, we won. Now, that was far from an easy match. We didn't make it very easy for ourselves, but we walked out with a victory. It's a lot deeper than that. This 4-2 scoreline looks great for us. If you didn't watch the game, this was not a great result, especially considering they got a red card at the 45th minute. But, let's get into it. Let's do some player ratings and go from there. From the jump, we had some intensity for sure, but I don't think we were fantastic. We created some chances, had the ball around their box a little bit, but we just couldn't take that final step. And that's, shown in the XG. We really didn't create much XG in the first half at all. I think it was like 0.3. Now, we were fine defensively, in my opinion, but we just made a lot of stupid mistakes. They had a few breakaway goals with, through balls over the back line that should never have resulted in anything, but there was just a little bit of fragility there. Obviously, the first goal with Ter Stegen's, I don't know who he thought he was. He tried to chip the ball over the striker and just chipped it right into his chest. Again, I said it while I was live streaming. It looked like something I would do during pickup. It was a garbage goal, a terrible decision. It was a very cocky thing to do, and you only execute those things if you are confident you're going to do it. It was stupid from him. He knows that, and it gave up a goal. Araujo almost recovered, but Hugo Duro got the goal off anyway, and so, a convincing 1-0 move with a good goal from Fermin Lopez off a good cross from Rafinha quickly turns to, oh no, tie game, and now they're actually creating some chances. That was a little concerning for a while, and rightly so, because it led to a second goal. Araujo made a bit of a desperate tackle again. He wasn't far off this time. It wasn't a terribly stupid tackle, maybe unnecessary, but this was like a less bad pen to concede than some of the others he has done in recent past. But this one was definitely not necessary. I'd rather let him shoot on Ter Stegen or cut inside than Araujo potentially risk a foul like this. Clearly, his head's somewhere else right now, or he isn't making the best decisions. We've seen him go through fields like this in a little while, and this happens to him. He doesn't always keep that consistency wonderfully, and he isn't in the best run of form right now. I'll get into why that might be more of a problem than we probably think in a little bit. But overall, that wasn't a good first half from us, and to see them get a red card was pretty lucky, because we weren't bad, but we weren't creating wonderful chances either, and we were conceding on the counter. And more importantly than that, we weren't defending on the counter well. We have covered for that with Araujo and Cubarsí defending very well on the break recently, but that didn't happen today. Cancelo also was not good defensively. We moved through that game a little bit, and throughout the rest of the beginning of the first half, the second half, we were not good. We didn't concede a lot of chances to them, but we didn't create much either, and that's crazy considering we were a man up. We didn't put this crazy onslaught on them like PSG did to us when we lost Araujo in the semifinals or the quarters of the Champions League. And so, I don't know, it took us some time to really put it together and get our heads in the game. We did. We put it together, and we figured it out, and we'll do some player ratings in a second. But I am concerned that intensity took a little bit of time to pick up. And so against Girona, we can't take our time with that intensity, because if we allow chances like that on the break, it's not just going to be 2-1. It's going to be 3-1, 4-1. And, I don't know if they're going to get a red card for their goalie that, really opens the game up for us. So we can't be as vulnerable on defensively, and we have to be more clinical attacking-wise. They showed that they could do this in the second half. 3 pretty solid goals. And now let's get into some player ratings to see actually how these guys performed. Ter Stegen, shocker. No fantastic saves. I think there was one situation. No, I don't think he had really any great saves, but crazy decision from him. Like, very suspect. I really don't know what he's doing. So I think he I don't know. He never really does that. I'm not really worried about that ever happening again. Stupid from him. Not a good rating. Like a 4. Like about as low about it as he could have been. I don't think he moving swiftly along. Cancelo, I don't think he was fantastic either. I think he had some creativity going there. He offered a good outlet on a wide. We haven't really seen him invert much or play in that midfield role since he joined. He did that a little bit in the beginning of the season, but we really haven't seen him do that. and he's only been overlapping. And I guess that makes sense because Rafinha, who's been playing on the left, isn't, he's an inside forward more often than staying out wide. We need somebody out wide. If it's going to be anybody, I guess it's Cancelo. But I don't know if that's where he's the best. He had I think a good shot, a good little try to hit the near post at some point in the second half, but it didn't go in. It was fine though. Mid, I would say 5.5. Not great defensively. Again. And then Kubarsi, Araujo, I'm going to link them together. I don't think either one of them had a great game. Both of them did fine. Araujo made a mistake. I think Kubarsi was definitely caught out of position a few times. Played a few. I think he played one or two not great long balls. He's a kid. He played a couple of other great balls. An unimpressive performance from him, but, it's expected. I'm not really being that critical of him, and I don't think we need to be that critical of him after that. Araujo, though, we can be very critical of. Again, another bad decision from him. He was actually centimeters away from touching this ball, but that can be the difference sometimes, and it was in that situation. He gave up a pen, caused them to score a goal, and put this game in a little rocky situation. It didn't need to be there, a 5 as well. I don't think he was great throughout most of this game. He was okay going forward. I didn't want to reference that. I think there was a glancing header. Oh, no, he did get the assist for one of Lewandowski's goals. So he played okay going forward. Is looking like, old PK where he goes forward and, is creating chances there. But, hey, it's nice to have that option. He looked okay. I think Koundé had a solid game as well. I think he was pretty good defensively, pretty good with his intensity there against their fullback or wingbacks and wingers, but didn't really create anything. So I don't know. There's not a lot to talk about, honestly, from him outside of his defensive responsibilities, because he offered Lamine some overlapping runs and underlapping runs as well, but Lamine didn't really work with him very much. But still a solid game from him nonetheless. Just because he wasn't picked out doesn't mean we can be that critical of him. Through the middle, it was an interesting start for Xavi, Christensen, Firmino, and Gundogan. Christensen and Gundo were playing the furthest back midfielders. Firmino was able to really occupy the space between their midfield and their defense, and he had so much freedom there. Really exploited that, but I don't know if it was Xavi's decision, but Christensen was oftentimes further up the pitch than Gundogan was, and I think Christensen had a pretty good game. I think he linked up very well. He was pretty solid on the ball. But again, he was further forward than Gundo was, which was a little weird to me. Gundo, fine. Christensen, fine. I think Christensen was probably better than Gundo. I don't think either one of them were fantastic, though. I give him 7s, probably, maybe 7.5 for Christensen. For me, though, I thought he was really exciting. I'm a big fan of his, so I'm a little biased, but I'm going to give him an 8.5. Created a lot going forward, a lot of excitement, a lot of difference making, and a lot of good runs. Obviously scored the first goal. Got the game rolling a little bit, and it was a very good header. It's hard to create power on the ball. He did, and he did a pretty good job. So I'm happy with Firmino today. Now our forward line, I'm really upset that Lamine started and played 90 minutes. It's a little ridiculous from Xavi. I understand wanting to keep second place. I said it earlier. It's important that we do so we can play in the Supercopa, get the money from that. But I don't know. I don't think starting Lamine instead of Roque was a good decision. I've seen a lot of criticism on Xavi for this, a lot on Twitter and in my chat already. Man, I just the wrong choice. And I've seen Xavi over and over again this season not really do great with his substitutes. And to see him not do it again is concerning. He really needs to sit. And he's obviously, to me, going to start against Girona. So the fact that he's starting him, I'm not happy. And I don't think you should be either. The kid needs to rest. He's already played more minutes than Ansu did the season that, Ansu was basically only healthy for. And it's concerning. It's a lot of time, and there's a lot of other guys there. Roque needs minutes. Gu deserves minutes as well. Sure, they're not wingers necessarily, but I think we could survive playing Rafinha out on the right and Roque on the left as, that inside forward role. But whatever. Moving forward, Lamine was good. I think he created a lot. I think he goes down easy most of the time. And I think because refs know he goes down easy, they don't really call fouls when it is an actual foul. So I think he really needs to be a little bit stronger more often in these like maybe 50-50s or when he's, when pressure is being put on him, they're not going to call fouls on him. He hasn't got them all season. They always see him diving. And so he needs to put it together a little bit there, be a little bit stronger. But I think he was good today. 7, solid game from him. Created a lot. He was really a really good outlet for us when we really needed it. But that brings us to the other side, which was Rafinha. Wasn't his best game. I think he struggled to get into it a little bit. I didn't notice him all that much. That's my honest opinion. Maybe I didn't watch him enough, but he definitely didn't affect the game enough. He did have a good cross to Firmino. He got that assist, but wasn't his best work. Now, he came off for Joao Felix, I believe, Rafinha came off for Felix in the 66th minute. But before that, Inigo Martinez and Sergio Roberto came on at halftime. I don't think Inigo Martinez was good. He really scares me every single time he gets put on the pitch. He's so aggressive. He's always fighting with people. I don't know. I would love to sell him this summer. He's very aggressive and a little bit much at times. He was lucky to get a little bit of a stud on the ball in one of his tackles that very much so could have been another pen. Thankfully, he did, but it was concerning and whatever, it worked. So it didn't score. Whatever, it worked. But he concerns me every time it happens. Sergio Roberto, I think he played pretty well today too. Circulated the ball okay and brought some energy. I'm happy with Sergio today. It wasn't incredible, but he was solid. But when Joao Felix came on for Rafinha, I thought Joao Felix was good today. He linked up really, really well with Lewandowski and Gundo, and I was excited by him. Now, there was a few times where he got chances to cross that he wasn't able to pick it out, but I think he played well. Not phenomenal, maybe a 7, but did his job more or less pretty well. Pedri came on. For all he is great on the ball, today it was that involvement at the end where it was a breakaway and Valencia had the chance really to, put Barcelona on the ropes here with a man down. They could just sit back and try to hold a lead, but Pedri's interception there, that tackle was so incredibly clutch, and I don't know. The entire time after that, I was just like, Araujo needs to learn from this tackle because Pedri had the chance to pull him back. He would have gotten a red card. It would have put us in a tough situation, and they would have had a free kick in a dangerous spot. He didn't. He tried to get around him, even though the guy was faster than him. He stayed right with him, and then when he shifted the ball into his left foot to try and shoot past Ter Stegen, Pedri dove in there, and he won the ball. Incredible interception, very well done by him, and might have saved the game. Who knows what would have happened if he didn't do that? Easily an 8 just for that interception, and doesn't matter what else he did throughout the match. That was fantastic, and I think it was fine. I don't remember seeing a ton of him. I might have just missed it and didn't watch enough of it, but that is the important part of what happened. Then came on Ferran Torres for Joao Cancelo. I think Ferran was good. Created a lot of excitement and everything, but he didn't really score, but I thought he was good. Just because he doesn't score doesn't mean he didn't play well. And I thought I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty happy with how he did, and everyone in chat is like really happy with him and excited to see him play football. And I am too. He deserves more minutes. Every time he's on the pitch, he's been good this season, and the fact that he is getting so few minutes is a little unfair to him. But I don't see a situation where he plays more, especially with Joao Felix on loan and Barcelona allegedly trying to keep him. It's a little bit of a sticky situation for him if he's going to stay here or if he's going to go, and what's going to happen with that. But that all leads us to Lewandowski. Really good game from him. Even while it was 2-2 and Lewandowski only had the goal with the glancing header, which by the way was a really good goal, a good glancing header. But oh my God, he was solid in the link of play before that, and he was able to be in the right spot for that goal off Araujo's head, and then score the free kick goal to really put this game away. It was a good free kick. I think the wall was a little weak there, but it was a good shot, had good pace on it, and probably deserved to go in. And I'm happy with Robert Lewandowski's performance today in a way I really haven't been in a little while. The team wasn't fantastic today by any means, and that's concerning considering the big game that we have coming up against Girona. We need our best guys there, that stinks for Lamine Yamal and Kubarsi. Kubarsi did get to sit for 45 minutes today, but Lamine had to play 90. And so we know for a fact they're going to start against Girona. There's no way Xavi doesn't start them. So I think Xavi needs to be better at rotating these guys, especially against Valencia. Like, we still struggle to create with Lamine. Might as well not have him in and struggle to create anyway. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But there are highlights to take out of this, but we still do need to be concerned about this Girona match. We need to win. We need to win or we need to draw. I'd like to win just so we can put it away. We'll be 5 points clear with 3 games to go. I think I might be wrong on that. Don't quote me on that. It might be 4. I think it's 4. And so it's far from a certainty, but a win makes it a lot more comfortable and lets us, rotate a little bit, give Roque some minutes, start Fermin more like we did today. I'm happy we did that. And rotate Kubarsi as well. Overall, we walked out of there with a 4-2 victory, and that's good. Not a perfect performance, but, hey, a win is a win. Yeah. 3 points is 3 points. And I'll take 3 points any day, especially considering the form we've been in. But, I'm interested to see how they perform against a real challenge again, like Girona. So we'll have to see how it goes for that. But, thank you guys for watching. Video on the main channel out in a few days. I know it's been a little while. I've been struggling to, manage some stuff. But it's going to be out. And I'm also going to be live. I didn't tell anybody in the stream this. I'm going to be live every day this week. Not every day, Tuesday and Wednesday for the Champions League. So you guys can hang out with me for that as well. But yeah, peace. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.